Hello runners, hope all of you are doing well. This is Bala here in this very beautiful town of Pprinciple. It is in Belgium, very close to the city called UN. It's a very historic town, and I'm actually in this city center, sort of should I call it the municipality of the town. And it's a very beautiful environment. You can see the sky, blue sky, sun on it. So man, this is one of those pleasures of running RHWB. One of the runners, RHWB runners from here, gracefully was ready to host me, show me around. We had a nice run yesterday. Please go and check out in Strava. Some nice pictures I put in, like from the city of UN, and here we are. So here I am for a weekend message. First of all, folks, congratulations for completing week 1 of peak mesocycle. Guys, we are in the serious business end of our season. I cannot believe that we have already reached that point. This next 3 weeks, as we have discussed in SOU, is all about focus, all about delivering those additional miles without getting injured. That's basically the idea, and I'm really glad that you guys were able to come to this point. So congratulations. Time to focus, time to be serious about your training, and time to not miss out on any strength trainings, miss out on any runs, because everything matters from now onwards, especially after the rest week. You've come back, and this week for some people, as you had seen in the survey I had posted, most of you are feeling good. Some people are figuring out that their body is a little bit revolting, which is normal, which is what happens. But because of the rest week, your muscles have mended, your micro injuries are mended, so you guys are getting ready for the race day, which will happen in a couple of weeks for some of them, and then 4 weeks or so from now for the end of the season on the race day. So for today, I wanted to touch on two very important topics within the context of this peak mesocycle. The first one is about how do you think about peak mesocycle, these big runs, what happens, what is different in these peak mesocycle. That's the first thing I want to talk about. And the second thing is about how do you make your runs fun, which is very important for sustaining this activity. So let us talk about peak mesocycle, long distance runs. So what I wanted to talk about is that when you're in peak mesocycle, you get into this distance, what I call it as the long distance range. Now the way I define long distance range is when you are doing this act of running for about 2 hours and more. When your body is made to do 2 hours and more of running, then many different new items happens in your body, and that is what is called as the long distance range. And when you are running in the long distance range, you have to think about what else I need to do to make sure that you are able to sustain that activity. So let us start with this. 2 hours and more when you are running, what happens to your body? 3 or 4 things typically is different when you are in the long distance range. First one is your energy resource that you are utilizing for running, which is called easily available energy resource called glycogen. It's getting depleted, or in other words, you cannot continue for long after 2 hours without having an energy deficiency scenario where you feel weak, you cannot continue, you get exhausted because easily available energy is over. So that's the first thing you got to start thinking about, how to get over that. The second thing is dehydration. Now you would be surprised, there are still runners with us who do not drink water sufficiently during the run or even before the run. So when that happens, it's okay to be without water for 1.5 hours or so. But once you get into the long distance range, dehydration makes a major role in how you feel around the 2 hour mark and beyond. And then the third thing that happens is what I call it as you're running, you're not only losing water, you're also losing a lot of minerals. So there is a salt deficiency that happens as well. So there is a problem with your energy source, there is an issue with water, there is an issue with salt, sort of mineral deficiencies that happens because you're sweating a lot and you lose a lot of these minerals. So when all of these comes together, then there is a different set of strategies that you got to expose yourself to make sure that you're able to sustain that activity in this long distance range. So let's start with the first one, which is the calorie deficit. So when you think about calorie deficit, there are two ways you should be tackling it. One is when you start going into a long run, what do you eat before you start the long run? You shouldn't get up in the morning and just start running a long run. It might be surprising that to some when I say that, but there are runners who do that. I don't know why, but they do it. It's okay to do that for 4, 5, 6 mile runs, but when you go to 8 mile run, a 9 mile, a 10 mile, or in the case of full marathoners, 15, 17, 18 mile runs, you got to eat. And it is also good for you to do this because you train your body for race day conditions. So definitely eat 30 minutes before you start the race. 30 minutes is enough time for you to do that. The second thing is the use of gels. Now gels are easily available energy. You can think of it as glycogen in a pocket, in a packet. That's really what gels are. And each packet gives about 100 calories of energy, I think approximately that. It also has a little bit of minerals and such. So the idea here is during a race, you are expected to use gels so that you don't get into this bonking phase, that is a calorie deficit phase. So during these long runs of your peak meso cycle, you should train your body to start using gels. So my suggestion is very simple. Start with a gel just before the run, and then for every 45 minutes to 30 to 45 minutes of your run, take one gel till the last 30 to 45 minutes. That means if you're running for 2 hours, take one 45 minutes, take the second one another 45 minutes, and 2 gels is good enough. See how your body reacts, and if you want to, you feel that you're getting exhausted, maybe take every 30 minutes, and play with your how your body reacts. That's really what it is. And gels are available. There is a goo, there is a vegan gel available. There's a ton of resources there in RHWB site under resources. Go and check it out. Start using your gels. There are many different ionic waters. There's many things available. I don't want to really focus on just one brand, but idea here is you got to start using gels to map out into the energy deficit situation that you are facing. Now the next one is water. So you all need to take a swig of water every 30 minutes. Think like that. So every 45 minutes gel, every 30 minutes water. That's how I would recommend. And when you do that, you don't get dehydrated. Now, when you take a swig, I don't want you to drink like a ton of water. That's kind of has sloshing effect in your water. It creates all this. How much water is enough water? Now, there is a lot of science behind it. I want to make it simple for you. Take every 30 minutes a swig of water. That will do the job. But if you really want to know how much water you need to take, one way of doing it that I recommend is take your body weight just before the run without any clothes. Without any clothes, stand and take your weight and then go for a run for an hour. Maybe one of the weekday runs in a similar condition. Just go for a run, don't drink any water, don't do anything. Just go 1 hour, you can always do because you're not in the long distance range. Do a 1 hour run in one of those training runs. Come back before you drink water, measure your body weight again. The difference between the first and the second is the amount of water loss you lose per hour. That's your another way of getting a benchmark for you. When you do that, then you know this is the amount of water loss that I need to replenish, and you just do your own little math and just figure it out how much of water you need to take. That's another sort of a little more scientific way of figuring out how much water you need to take. But more importantly, one swig every 30 minutes is good enough for you for your hydration needs when you're doing the long distance range. Then comes the use of salt tablets. Now yesterday, those of you who have been with Dr. Devika, she did mention that she recommends let's not have the salt tablets, and I think that's definitely a medical opinion that we all should respect, especially for people with blood pressure. That is something that is true. But I have a blood pressure, I'm a blood pressure patient, I have a high blood pressure. What I have noticed from a coach perspective, and of course you should definitely talk with your doctor, but from a coach perspective, I do find the use of salt tablets very, very, very useful. The reason being, as you lose salt, the nerve signals, the effectiveness of nerve signals, the impulse from the brain to the muscle starts going down. That's really what is happening. Now, as a result of this efficiency of this muscle nerve connection going down, the impulses become more erratic from the brain, and that impulse, the lack of response from the muscle because of salt depletion in the body, creates what we call it as the twitching of these muscles or cramping. That's really what it is. So that's why you would see most people who experience cramps are not at the early part of the long distance range, but towards the after 2 hours range, where momentarily there is a salt depletion that has taken place. So my coach head tells me, and I've experienced it myself over the years, over the seasons, use of salt tablets during long distance runs, especially when you're sweating a lot, actually helps fill this salt deficiency gap, and hence you can actually avoid the cramping situation. I've seen it personally myself too. So it's your call. You have a doctor's point of view there that happened yesterday, and here you are, a coach point of view from my side, telling you about the use of salt tablets as a precautionary measure for avoiding or delaying cramps when you're in the long distance range. So my suggestion is one salt tablet every hour would do the trick. So if you think about it, every 30 minutes take a swig of water or Gatorade, every 45 minutes take a goo, every hour take a salt tablet. I think you guys are in good shape. The easiest way to think about preparation for your long distance range runs. So that's what in effect, folks, I just wanted to say. How do you think about it? Now comes the mental portion of it. I'm very happy to report to you that you would be surprised, thanks to your now structured training for more than 13 weeks, you guys are in amazing shape when it comes to mental fitness, because mentally you can do it. In fact, having extra mental strength but your physical fitness not mapping to your mental strength is the cause of many injuries. That means your brain is pushing you to do things, but your body is not ready, but it is still being pushed, and hence you overdo it, and hence an injury. So that's something that next week we'll talk about it. But for now, respect the long distance range. Think about long distance range in the way I was telling you about: calorie deficit, water deficit, salt, mineral deficit, and have plans to fix it. Now comes the last small portion: how to make running fun. So folks, as you do long distance runs, this is also a good time to explore how to run in different places. That is one strong element of having fun. Now take a look around this. Look around this place. This is a beautiful place, and if you just pan around on this area, it's a beautiful weather, beautiful place. People are fishing, and it's blue skies. For me, this is absolutely an incredible opportunity to merge fun with running. And when you do that, running becomes a sustainable activity. So in the weeks forward, I'm going to talk more and more about how to make running fun. But I thought this is the best opportunity as any other opportunity, where I really am standing in the middle of a fun activity, where I use my business travel, merge that with connecting with the runners, RHWB runner, and actually experience beautiful places like this and go for a run in the nature. This is one of the most fun thing that running gives. Imagine my world before running. If I was in business travel, I would have been sitting in a hotel watching a movie and just eating some trash food and go to sleep. That was my life before. And now it is, I seek out opportunities to have fun while running. And that is something I want all of you to think about and consider. Don't take travel as an impediment for running, but take travel as a beautiful opportunity to have fun. So that's what I would say. And congratulations for coming thus far in the training cycle. Let's keep at it. The race day is very near. Your destination, which is the journey, is about to end. 2-3 more weeks, and we will get to the start line of this wonderful ending of the season 11. So thank you so much. Thank you for our runner's eye runner who has been hosting me, Ganesh. Thank you for it. All the very best. Thanks for taking this video, and all the very best, folks. Let's make this happen. Take care.